Okay, so maybe you own a rental property or you're thinking about buying a rental property and you've heard about property management companies, but you're wondering, what do they actually do? It seems like kind of easy, right? They collect the rent. Lots of people think that that's all we do, but there's so much more to it. And that's what we're talking about today. Hi there, my name is Sue Richey. I am the principal broker and owner of Richey Property Management. We're a residential property management company here in Northern Virginia. We manage just shy of 1,000 properties now, so I can tell you a little bit about what property management companies do day in and day out. Okay, so lots of people come to us who know right off the bat that they do not want to manage their property. They've heard horror stories, they have friends who have done it themselves and gotten into some sticky situations, and they just know they don't have the time, the knowledge, and they just simply don't want to do it. And they feel like it's just worth it to have someone else do it. So today I want to talk about 9 things that we do every single day. There are tons more things than this, but these are kind of the core things. So I just wanted to give you a snapshot into our world every day. Okay, so number 1, we lease properties. When you have a rental property, you need to get a good tenant in there right away, right? You don't want to leave too much time in between tenants for vacancy. You want to get the maximum rent that you can. So one thing that we are really good at is staying on top of what the rental values are at any given time. We know what is trending in the market. We know what's happening in the sales market and how that trickles down to the leasing market. And we know what a good rental rate is at the time. So we can advise our clients on how much can you push the rent up a little bit, or maybe the market's really slow and maybe it's the winter time and you really want to adjust the rent down a little bit so that you can fill that property. We don't want vacancy, and so we help clients lease the property with a good tenant. Now, that's the key thing here, good tenant. So in addition to, as part of the leasing process, is the tenant screening process. And that's one thing that I am very proud to say that we do exceptionally well. We have great tenants, we have well-qualified tenants who take care of the properties, and we do a really, really good job at tenant screening. So if you're considering hiring a management company, ask them about their tenant screening process, because getting a good tenant in from the beginning is so, so important in how your whole tenancy goes, and it can minimize the problems that you have with the tenant, from everything from collecting rent to all kinds of things. So leasing properties, tenant screening, that's one of the big things that we do. Okay, number 2 is that we do inspections. We do a variety of inspections, and at a minimum, we do a very, very detailed move-in inspection and move-out inspection when that tenant leaves. And in between, about the middle time of the lease, we do what we call an interim inspection. For us, that includes going to the property, checking out the property, doing a safety inspection. In Virginia, we have to do a smoke alarm certification every year. That's the time that we do it. And so there's other times that we do inspections as needed. If there's a major repair, if there is some major updating that happened, but doing regular inspections is really important. We have people who come to us who say, oh my gosh, my tenant trashed my house. I thought everything was going well because I kept getting the rent. But when that lease ended and they went to the house, that house was in terrible condition. So you have to make sure that you're doing inspections. That's one of the things that a property management company will do. And so again, you want to ask how frequently they do it, how do they do it. We do it, and we use a really good software. We have a ton of pictures, so we can compare when a tenant moved in and when a tenant moved out. And so when we have to handle that security deposit, we know exactly what we can assess as damages, what's normal wear and tear. So there's so much more to it. If you want to learn more about what's considered normal wear and tear, check out this video, and you can learn more about what you can charge for. But that's another thing that we do, is really, really good inspections. Okay, number 3 is that we handle all repair and maintenance for the property. This is kind of what a lot of people just think this is mainly what we do, is just fix toilets, fix things that break. Yes, 100% we do all of that. We take care of anything that revolves around repair and maintenance. And that includes reactive repairs as well as proactive maintenance. So if you have a service contract, we're going to make sure that that service contract happens regularly and that we do proactive maintenance on some of the systems that you may have set up, including lawn care, all kinds of things. The reactive maintenance, of course, comes in when something breaks. So a toilet breaks, an appliance breaks. We're going to make sure we get the right vendors. We're going to make sure they do the right work at the right price. It's something that's reasonable. That's what we do. And that is a lot of work. So when we manage, so many properties, there are constantly moving pieces and people going in different places. So that we have a great property management team to do that. So that's another thing that you want to ask when you're looking for a property manager. Ask about their vendors. Ask about how they handle repair and maintenance, and at what point do they bring you in to approve a repair. So we have a threshold of $500 where we say to owners, anything under that, we have the discretion to make that decision about how we're going to handle this. Is this legitimate? Should this be charged to the tenant? Can we troubleshoot this and avoid a repair cost? Whatever needs to be done under $500, we're going to do it. You'll be notified. We're going to take care of it and move on. Things that are above that, we're going to get approval from our owners. So just understand how the company does it, but management companies should be handling repair and maintenance. The other thing I'd say about repair and maintenance is how quickly this happens, because repairs and maintenance that take a long, long time, guess what happens to the tenant? They get super frustrated. These things drag on. They can turn into problems, bigger problems in your property, but the tenant gets really frustrated and they don't like living without a dishwasher for weeks on end. So making sure that these repairs get handled in a timely manner, that's really important too. And that's one of the things that we do so that we can keep those tenants happy. Happy tenants stay in the property. That ends up being less cost for our owners. Okay, number 4 is we handle all things financial. Property management companies are going to handle financial aspects of your property. So that includes rent in, money out, paid out to owners, handling the security deposit when it's time to disperse that deposit. And that includes all of the accounting behind it, including assessing damages, figuring out what those costs are, deducting those from the security deposit, having the right backup, and then sending out the remainder of the security deposit to the tenant. It includes using ACH to send owners their proceeds every month. For us, we collect all the rent, and then we deduct any expenses that month, including the management fee. And then what's left over, we send to our owners at the beginning of each month. So all those things around financials, really, really important to make sure your management company has a good accounting system so that you have accurate records. We keep all of repair invoices. We have a portal for owners so they can access their information every month 24/7. We do monthly accounting statements, we do end of year statements, we do 1099s, and if there's additional reporting an owner wants, that's fine. We can customize reporting and do that too. So that helps our owners at the end of the year because they can produce a report and give it to their accountant, and it makes tax time much, much easier. But along the way, we keep track of every single penny that goes in and out. And so that's critical when you own a rental property. So make sure that the company you choose to work with also has a very good and robust accounting system. Okay, number 5 is that we deal with all tenant issues. Now, I know this sounds really broad, but it's also a lot of stuff that's lumped into this, because this can include anything from getting HOA violations where, the tenant's dog is pooping on the neighbor's yard, or the tenant leaves tons of trash out, they don't bring their trash can in, or their lawn is too long and they don't mow the lawn. And whatever comes up, we've got to deal with the tenant, make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing to uphold their end of the lease, as well as maintain the property and not cause any violations like that. We also make sure that, of course, they pay the rent. And if they don't pay the rent, we assess late fees. We'll go down the road of the paperwork needed if we need to evict them. And hopefully that's not the case, but whatever needs to be done around any tenant issue, that's what a property management company should be doing. Okay, number 6 is handling evictions. Now, again, we really don't have very many evictions in general, and we don't really have any for people that we have screened and put into our properties, but we do know how to do evictions. And if the time comes where a tenant isn't paying rent and they're not upholding what their end of the lease, we will start the eviction process. Management companies should be able to help with that. They can advise on what needs to be done with the court, what needs to be done when you need to bring in an attorney, and whatever needs to happen, that's what a management company will do. So that's one thing that can be very important as a landlord. If you're doing this on your own, you may not know anything about this or what to do if you get into a situation where a tenant isn't paying and it's just terrible and you need to get out of this situation, you need to evict your tenant. If you don't know, with a management company can be on your side and help guide you and help you through this process. Okay, number 7, a property management company can be the middleman between an owner and a tenant. A lot of times owners can be swayed easily because a tenant may tell a sob story about why they couldn't pay the rent or why they couldn't do X, Y, and Z. But a property management company, we're a neutral third party. We're a party in between. And our job is to enforce the lease terms by both parties so that both people hold up their end of the bargain, right? And we can be tough when we need to be tough. If a tenant isn't paying, we can be tough and follow exactly what needs to happen to make sure they pay or to get them out if needed. If they are, resisting doing or letting us in for inspections or all kinds of things, there's a whole list of things that can come up. But we, being the middleman, we also can just eliminate any emotional things that happen. So an owner can get emotional. Sometimes if in a situation where something's not going the way you want, it can get heated. You make decisions based on emotion instead of just going by the facts. That's where we can come in. And so having that neutral third party who is handling every interaction is really going to be important. It also saves you from getting those calls at 2:00 in the morning that your toilet is leaking or the house is flooding or whatever. That is also, of course, handled by your property manager. Okay, number 8 is that a property manager should really be an advisor for you on your rental property. So what I mean by this is we should be advising you on ways to maximize your rental income, ways to minimize expenses, helping you find vendors who can be really good and who can really be efficient and keep your costs down, helping you figure out ways to do proactive maintenance so that you do have reduced costs in the long term. We also can help you with advice on insurance and other different kinds of professionals that you need and ways to reduce your liability. We're going to tell you if things should be changed in the property, if there are safety related issues. We don't want you to have liability. When you're a rental property owner, there is always liability. That's why you have the right kind of insurance. But a good property manager can be a good advisor to help you understand what's going on, what you need to do, other repairs you need to make so that you keep your liability as low as possible. Okay, number 9, I consider this a little bit of a bonus. I think this is something that property management companies should be doing. It's something that we do with owners and that we're going to continue to enhance, and that is really looking at your profitability in your portfolio. So whether you own one property or you own 10 or 100, it doesn't matter. Our job is to help you maximize your revenues, maximize the profitability of that portfolio so that we can advise you on what might be next. Maybe you need to sell your property and purchase something else through a 1031 exchange. That might be a good strategy for you. Maybe you should buy other rental properties. Maybe you should take some equity out. There's a variety of things that you can do, but our job is to, just like a financial advisor would, tell you about your overall portfolio and help you manage that. Our job is to manage your real estate assets and keep those in the best condition they can be in and maximize, again, your revenue and the profitability. So I think that's one way we look at this a little bit differently than other companies, in that we're looking at this as managing your business, managing your rental business, and we're your business manager. So I think just that whole larger, all-encompassing managing the portfolio is something that's the perspective we try to take, and that's the approach we take when managing our clients' properties. It's something that I think property managers should be doing. Not everybody does that. Some people do just kind of the basics. But anyway, that's something to ask, and it's something that is important because this is a big asset for you, and you want someone who can help advise on other strategies, other tax benefits, and different things that you can do so that you can be as profitable as possible. Okay, so there you have it. There are 9 things that a property manager does. And as I said, there are so much more and so much more within each of those categories that we do on a daily basis. In the summer months when we have a ton of people moving in and out, it's a little crazy in our office. But at the end of the day, we want all our clients to feel like this: calm, peaceful, and just know that we, as their property manager, have it covered. We've got this. We want our clients to just relax and move on with whatever it is that they want to do. Property managers are people who really can be a partner for you with your rental property business and can really help take a lot of that load off of you and manage all of the aspects that I talked about today for you so that you can either go enjoy your free time and spend time doing other things that you enjoy in your life, or spend time looking for other rental properties if you want to continue to add to your portfolio. So if this information was helpful, I hope you'll share it with someone who might be considering hiring a property manager and really just doesn't know what exactly we do every day. So if you like this, I hope you will subscribe to our channel. I have a lot more videos about all kinds of things tenant and landlord related that could help you. So give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and I will see you next time.